What an unreal game of football between Barcelona and Real Madrid as Barcelona win the game 4-3. And I don't even know how they only managed 4 goals against Real Madrid. This game easily could have gone 7-6 to either team. That's how many opportunities were created in this game. With the result today, Barcelona extend their lead at the top of La Liga by 7 points. And at the moment, it's looking like they are set to be champions of Spain this season. What a game of football. Being a Prem fan, it feels so refreshing to just watch two teams go attack versus attack, band versus band. Who wants it more? It was non-stop slick attack after slick attack after slick attack. And it's kind of refreshing when you're a Prem fan, when you're used to like running and intensity and playing against blocks and teams sitting back and, counter attack and intensity over maybe technical play. Intensity over like flow, intensity over spectacle at times. And I have to say that this was, for me, a very enjoyable game of football. And these are the type of games that made you fall in love with the game back in the day. Now, if you're a Madrid fan, I'm sure your standards are very high. You're used to winning. You'll be fuming and angry about this result. You'll be angry at the fact that Barca beat you guys 4 times on the bounce right now. And you just look like easy whipping boys for Barcelona. They had so many moments to extend their lead, to get the 5th goal so often, especially in that second half. And they had enough moments in them, clear-cut opportunities where they could have bagged 6 or 7 if they had even more form behind their game. But this game just took off to such an explosive, exciting start with Madrid's securing a 2-0 lead. Now, it was interesting for me because every time I see Madrid and Barca play, Mbappe is just notorious for forever being offside. So when you're seeing Madrid taking the lead twice from Kylian, things are happening here. He's now made that 39 goals for the season. And I'm going to sound really cynical right now. But for myself, Madrid score a lot and create a lot for Mbappe, but it comes at the detriment of the actual team because Madrid's are just not tailor-made yet to be a cohesive unit. This summer is a massive window for Madrid to start to bring some balance, to start to find ways to adjust what they already have. And for me, I think Alexander-Arnold was a smart buy for his ball playing over the top, but they do need that midfield player. But they also need backup defensively. They need backup at fullbacks in particular. They've been really running on empty. The fact that Tchouaméni's playing at the back sums it up because after Mbappe took the lead twice for Real Madrid, this is a normal trap Madrid fall into where they become too passive off the ball. Now, in a way, I kind of understand that when Ceballos, when Gula, when players like Bellingham and co are your midfield four. You're not expecting someone who can break the play up, add some control, slow things down for Madrid so we can communicate it in terms of controlling, how much these guys want to sprint forward and play forward. Throughout the entire game, the lines between Madrid's defense and their midfield were forever too big. And most of that comes from the fact that there isn't that balance in midfield, The fact they can't use Tchouaméni there, the fact there's no Camavinga, it's not helpful. It doesn't work for them. And if you're Barcelona, taking a 2-0 loss at the start kind of just gets you ready to focus again and to come back because this Madrid team are going to give you opportunities. The moment they take the lead, they start to fall off. And Barcelona completed such an epic comeback within that first half. It got kick-started again by Mr. Champions League. I don't know why I'm calling him that, obviously. Eric Garcia. He starts the comeback for Barcelona with a great header. And after that point forward, then I just felt like Barca were finding their groove, they were finding their flow in the game. Madrid's midfield were kind of non-existent. They couldn't cope with Barcelona's high press whatsoever. So it felt like a matter of time before Yamal was set to make the equalizer against Real Madrid. And boy, does this guy make things look so simple, make things look so easy. I think for me, the level of understanding and decision-making he shows at 17 years old is not normal. It's like he's been playing for 20 years. Yeah, he makes football look so obvious. He makes football look so apparent. He makes football look pretty simple at times. I think that's the exciting thing about Yamal. My Lord, the finish when he opens his body up, bottom left corner, top class, and the celebration at the end too. You know, Barcelona were kind of gassing it a little bit today. Of course, we know that Travis Scott was in attendance at the game, and they were wearing the special limited edition Travis Scott Barcelona kit. So you guys were able to secure that one. You need to link me up here. You need to let me know. But once that goal went in, Madrid's heart started to sink. You could see it. And they got more open and open on the counter-attack as the game was going on, because Madrid have no press. They have no structure in those aspects. They don't even have the players for that. Was it a mistake to not start Modric from the start, especially over Goulet? I know Goulet is a big talent, but you need to have a bit of balance. If your whole attacking plan is to play balls over the top and exploit high lines to find Vinny and Mbappe, that means that these guys aren't really doing too much from a pressing point of view. You need to try and reconfigure how you're going to find and meet that balance right. So, of course, as the game was going on in the first half, Barca were getting more and more and more dominant. And this is where Raphinha, one of the players of 2025, one of the most fearsome left foots in Europe this season. Every time this guy's on the ball, getting on the end of a counter-attack, you just know 9 times out of 10, it's going in the back of the net. And he just kind of took that lead away from Real Madrid with 2 well-timed, well-taken finishes, bottom right corner, away from Thibaut Courtois. And honestly, man, it could have been more than 4 goals in that first half. That's how mad things were. It could have been more than 4 goals in that first half. And it's a reminder that Madrid's play with limits. They play with limits. I know Madridistas will be a bit mad, but flipping Vasquez not good enough, no defense, Ancelotti and his tactics. But in my opinion, I just see it as this is the full limits Madrid can produce with what is available in the squad. Mbappe just created too much imbalance. Yes, Ancelotti's found a way to get the star guy scoring goals, but it is kind of like the Alan Shearer effect that just because he gets a stat pad doesn't make Madrid a better team. So now that they've committed to Mbappe this season, because that's what they've communicated, he will be the main guy, they now have to build around him. They have to find a new balance. But after Sir Rodrigo, there's no balance there. Bring in a midfield player, a defender, and some backup, and I think next season will definitely be a lot tighter. But moving on to the second half, my lord, was this a fun end-to-end game of football, man. Like, the amount of times Barca should have wrapped this game up. Like, one of the counter-attacks too, where Raphinha plays it into Yamal. He's just offside. Raphinha had great chances, getting at the far post to try and complete his hat-trick, which I was so surprised that he was not able to do, especially with that far post cross by Yamal to find him right near the end. I thought that was Raphinha's bread and butter in that situation. Of course, Madrid were also able to regularly exploit Barca's high line with a lot more incision, actually, in the second half. We thought at one point this game was going to be, a draw potentially. They did very well to get the third goal near the end. Kylian Mbappe getting his hat-trick against Barcelona. Great play by Vinny to make the diagonal run, who's been a great facilitator with someone like Mbappe. I think, listen, there is some promise in that partnership, especially with how they know how to move with each other. And in my opinion, if you want to find the best balance for Madrid next season, it's either a wing-back setup, which I'm still not too sure by, but I personally think a diamond setup with Vinny, Mbappe, and maybe Bellingham having that type of license to link the attacks together between these incredible attacking wingers. So yeah, it really is looking quite promising for the future, even though this season's a write-off for Real Madrid, even though I know Madridistas are very disappointed with how you guys tailed off near the end. But I actually think as long as you guys can spend and bring in the right type of players to balance the new look team for next season, I think you guys are in a pretty promising position to do some serious things next season, man. But of course, once it became 4-3, Madrid, I thought were going to equalise near the end. Youngster who just came on, Victor Munoz, one-on-one with the keeper, but the ball bubbles and he wasn't able to wrap his foot around the ball to just direct that away from the keeper. But come on, you've just come on the pitch, barely got a feel of the game. Emotions, intensity, excitement always there. It's easy to just ignore the details, even though maybe the power finish was the correct thing to do at that time. But it's just so crazy how end-to-end this game was. It was absolutely ridiculous at times. Just how often Both teams were regularly exploiting each other's defensive line. In my opinion, I just felt like Barca could have maybe sealed the game up anytime they wanted to if they were maybe just a bit more focused near the end, because it was just ridiculous how many times, they were splitting open that defense. The time runs of Raphinha in behind. Yamal, who every time he's on the ball, just had the beating of Fran Garcia, who couldn't cope against him. Just the timing of when to do the little dummy one direction and burst into space and behind. The moments where he's just coming inside, a Barcelona fullback getting forward, allowing Yamal to just playmake and come a little bit deeper. I mean, at 17 years old, he's one of the best players on this planet. And I think gets into any and every team out there. That's how incredible he is. When I watch him, it makes me start thinking about my own life. It makes me start questioning what I've been doing in my life. When I'm seeing the level he's showing already, I absolutely love this kid. And I'm really excited to see, how his legacy is set to end up as he gets older. But many moments for Madrid, who were still showing their qualities in behind to try and get something and nick something from this game. But Barcelona near the end thought they won it. Famin coming on, I thought it was a super goal that he made for himself. Receiving on the left-hand side, coming inside, and it's like pure laces, shot really early away from Thibaut Courtois, because that's the only way you can beat Courtois. Take those shots early, hit them with power. But unfortunately, the game, the goal was ruled out for a handball. There were a few contentious decisions in terms of like penalty appeals. Mbappe had one in the first half, turned down because he was offside. Many had a penalty appeal where VAR spent a bit too much time deciding on whether it was. Barca players put pressure on the ref. I get that. But I just felt like you can't be calling that for a handball against Tchouaméni when the shot is like from 1 yard away and there was no unnatural movement. He was literally coming to close. I mean, come on, like no one plays without their arms. It didn't feel like anything there. And it was good that the referee didn't spoil the game by falling for that pressure then from Barcelona. But even then, when they had the fifth goal disallowed, there were still moments near the end to get that goal. And yeah, man, just being a fan, ending the week, I just love watching these types of games. The excitement, the moments after moments after moments that you just don't always see in Prem games, which can be dominated by like 5 to 6 great things. This was in the double digits, like 15, 20 moments end to end. Like if you're paying to watch a game like this and you're in the stadium, you are getting your money's worth, because every time these teams play, moments, excitement and goals come. At the expense of Real Madrid, the goals do come. But in terms of the spectacle, man, yeah. Honestly, I've always loved La Liga football. The flow, the ebb, the technical play is one of my favorite stuff, man. So that was it in the end. Barcelona 4, Real Madrid 3. Apologies for the mistake on screen. I don't know. I forgot to switch the badges around. Sorry about that, you guys. Had a lot of work I'm doing at the moment. Hope you guys can forgive me. And I will catch you guys later on with some more videos. Love. Cool.